Hey everyone. Well, I just got back from watching A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I have stuff written down on here, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be said about this movie, but I'm not really sure I want to. I mean, this isn't even really a movie. My summation for it would be it's a narcissist indulgent fantasy. And it is bad. Not even funny bad. You know, like The Room, especially when you're like with a group of people or a second person, or even Alone in the Dark, which were bad, but they were like funny bad. Like they're so bad it was just funny. You were laughing at it, and something you could really discuss in a fun way with people. This movie, no, it is just horrible. It has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. It's it's just bad. Definitely, it's the worst movie of the year. I know I haven't seen that many movies this past year. I'm certainly not going to be seeing that many more movies this, rest of the year. But believe me, this is the worst movie because even if another movie comes out that, might seem horrible, might seem worse, all that, no. This is the worst movie because of, frankly, how boringly indulgent it is. It's one thing to be boring. It's a heck of another thing to be indulgent at the same time as if it's not boring. As if somehow, no, this is actually really funny, you don't get it. No. No, it's just bad. So, I've got stuff written down here, so we'll see how it goes. But first and foremost, I've got to say that it's been said for a while, but it needs to be said again. Seth MacFarlane, no pun intended, is a hack. He is a hack. He really is. He had a good run with Dexter's Laboratory. The first 2 seasons of Family Guy were worthwhile. And that's it. That's it. He has done nothing of worth. Nothing that be considered funny. The rest of Family Guy has been a crock. American Dad is a crock. Ted was awful. Ted was awful. And this is worse than Ted. This is worse than Ted. At least I laughed a little bit in Ted. Despite all its badness. At least there was some stuff to laugh at with it. This is just bad. And, yeah, he does the same stuff all the time. And I wouldn't mind the same stuff if, he put some little twists on it. And it was still funny. It was still entertaining. It's not. His references are always poorly done or in your face. Like, oh, it's a reference. Oh. He always has to put his own, views on the world in there as if, oh, it's, Brian and Family Guy. That's him. That's him. The one thing I can say that Family Guy did right recently, or at least semi-recently, was when Quagmire basically took Brian to task. And that was basically him taking Seth MacFarlane to task. Really, that's the only entertaining thing Family Guy has really done in a while. Aside from, Peter versus the chicken, but even then, even that is just goes on way too long. Like a lot of his jokes in his movies. They're not really jokes, or jokes in his movies and shows. They're not really jokes. They just go on and on as if, oh, we're just stretching out and stretching it out. And on top of that, he has to explain them in so many of the times. As if, oh, either, the joke is so good it's worth explaining, it went over people's heads, or, the explanation is the joke. Which is not. That explanation has never been the joke. Ever. It never will be. And he always has to do his 9/11 jokes as if, yeah, Seth, we get it. You almost died on 9/11. But now it just seems like you're in a psychosis about it, where you have to insert it. Everywhere. Please, get help. And yeah, that's Seth MacFarlane in a nutshell, and just about everything I said is in this movie. Except for a 9/11 joke. And I missed the beginning. Me and my friend, we got in there late. And I missed the beginning of it. But I've been thinking, maybe it wasn't the beginning. Maybe it was at the beginning, and then we flash back. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. He always seems to put it in everything he does. Maybe it was there. Maybe it was in the movie. I just didn't see it. I just... Anyway, well, I guess that's, yeah, about the movie itself now, and I guess if I'll start talking about it, then I might get into some spoilers, but at this point, I'm just gonna say, if there's spoilers, there's spoilers. Seriously, guys, just stay away from this movie. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just talk about it, and I'd best describe this movie at Seth's attempt, poor man's attempt at doing a Blazing Saddles for the 21st century. And Blazing Saddles was an amazing movie. And yeah, this movie, Blazing Saddles, just spits on the grave of this movie because this movie is already dead from the opening. And yeah, basically, again, Seth plays a guy who's down on his luck. Then along comes a woman that, helps him out, and he finds the courage and all that. Yeah, it's cliched and all that. Didn't mind that. Everything else I minded. And the point of the movie, at least the point, I guess there is a point, I'm not sure. But, apparently it's trying to parody the West. Because we see all these Westerns and we think, oh, it's all cool and all that. And Seth's like, no, this West is not cool. It's a death trap. You can die anytime, everywhere. Even in the movie, he has like a 5-minute explanation about why the West sucks. And it's just... It's really just, the fact that he's explained it and it's all hammered over and over, it's like, it's no longer even worth thinking if it's funny, because it's not. It's not. He's not really parodying it. He's just explaining it. And the movie does this thing where it tries to have, being a Western setting, but using modern colloquial language. Like, how in the Western movies, there's a bit more of a formal language to things. Here it's no. We're using, today's language and back then's culture along with, today's issues, somehow carried back a little bit to show, the more simple things in the West were similar to what we talk about today. But again, it's like one of these things where, yeah, that's what he's trying to reference. It's so funny. I must laugh at it because it's just there. And the movie uses some unbelievably insane amounts of bodily humor at times. And it's not even funny bodily humor. It really isn't. Like Blazing Saddles, the bean scene with the farting, that was funny. Here, though, it's not funny. It's like the moment someone farts, you're supposed to laugh at it. It's like, and on top of that, he has to explain it. I mean, there comes a point where, Neil Patrick Harris shits in a couple of hats, then he's walking out. The movie has to cut to showing the shit, as he's stepping on the hats and tipping him over. He shows the shit coming out, and it's like, wait, what? Why? What's the point? Alright, we get it. He shit in a hat. He shat in a hat. What is this? And like I said, the jokes. They aren't really jokes. They're jokes, and then they're stretched out too long. They try to get all, kind of bodily humor about it, really like gross out and, kind of vulgar, as if the vulgarity makes it even funnier. And of course he has to explain it. Again, there's a scene where Seth MacFarlane makes a joke, which I found an ounce humorous, but then he has to come back and literally beat the joke in the ground by explaining it. The Joker in Batman the Animated Series basically summed it up. If you have to explain the joke, there is no joke. And that's the thing. This movie is not even a joke. It's not even a joke because everything's explained. It's not a joke. You can't even call it a joke. It'd be called a joke of a movie, but it's not even a movie. Like I said, it's Seth's indulgent fantasy. It's what happens when basically whatever, I got money, I got a script, I got people I can call and whatever, and I'm going to make whatever the hell I want. And of course, when it comes, since we're talking about calling, as mentioned, calls. He literally called everyone in his book to this movie. Everyone who has even had marginal contact, or I think he might even have liked or may have met somewhere, is called into this movie. You got Ewan McGregor, who just pops in there, which sucks because Ewan McGregor's amazing. What's he doing here? You have Ryan Reynolds is in there for like 2 seconds. He doesn't even say anything. He just stands there for 2 seconds and he gets shot. It's like, oh look, it's Ryan Reynolds. Ha 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 ha. I mean, you have Patrick Stewart's voice coming in. Oh god, I mean, then you have Bill Maher. Oh, if you want to talk about somebody who smug up their own butt when it comes to their own views, it's Bill Maher. But yeah, and of course the tryhard of tryhard, Sarah Silverman, is in there. I mean, just seriously, someone please get the camera away from that woman. She is not funny at all. It's like, Mad TV said it best. It's like she says vulgar stuff, but that's the thing, that's not the joke. It's like they said, we get it. You're saying vulgar things, but where's the joke? Where's the funny thing? Yeah. Nothing's in there. This movie is one vulgar non-joke. And at the very end, there's a scene where, Jamie Foxx comes in as if parroting Django Unchained. And it's like, really? I mean, Jamie Foxx doesn't even look like he got ready for it. He just came in there and was like, okay, let's do this, whatever. You get a small paycheck or something. And it's just, wait, it says to make another reference. And I just remembered the dumbest reference in the movie was a Back to the Future reference, which I'm sure people saw in the trailer. Well, there you go. It's like one of these things going, oh, I'm going to tell all the references or jokes as you put it in the trailer. And it is, as you would expect, the laziest reference. It's not even good. I mean, literally, just Christopher Lloyd just says Great Scott for Great Scott's sake. Like, so Seth MacFarlane go, ha ha, I heard Great Scott, ha ha. I mean, I just realized that's why he said it in the West, so he can make an 80s reference, because he always has to make an 80s and even 90s reference. Always. It's like, we get it, Seth. We get it, Seth. You grew up. I mean, even Family Guy parodied him. In the Star Wars, parodies as well. Even they, made fun of him for it. That, all he does is just watch a bunch of TV in the 80s. Oh, lovely. Haha, yeah, that's so funny. And it's not. And of course, it's Seth MacFarlane, so you can expect religious jabs. And again, I don't mind religious jokes. I laugh at quite a few religious jokes. That's fine. It's just, if they're well done, and these are not well done at all. They're just jabs as if, oh, religion is dumb, whatever, I'm smarter and better than people, whatever, I don't have religion, I'm so much more, intelligent, open-minded. I'm just like, then what the hell are you doing making this dumb movie? I mean, here's the thing. If you're doing it purposely dumb, because, just for having fun with it, yeah, I can understand. I mean, there are people who have, done dumb movies. I can't think of any right now, but there are people who purposely done movies that they knew they were dumb, but, they had fun with it. But it's as if Seth MacFarlane is actually, thinking that, oh, I'm doing something, it's dumb, therefore it must be funny. It's like, no, dumb does not equal funny. Dumb and Dumber is funny. This movie, Dumb and Dumber would rather sit in a classroom and actually do its homework than watch this movie. Oh, and I remember one thing. He meets up with this group of Indians, and he tries to talk in this, silly Indian language, which is really just, a bunch of jibber-jabbering of, stuff he's done. Like, for instance, he says, Mili Kunis, as if, again, he has to reference his other work. As if, that's funny. I mean, that's the thing. This guy's a hack. This guy's a hack. I'm ranting on here for close to 15 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, why am I wasting any more time? Why? It's like I knew this movie would be bad, but maybe I could have laughed at it like I said at the beginning because it was so bad it's funny. Maybe it could have been Ted where, it was bad, but, at least there was something on occasion that made me laugh. Here, there's nothing. And yeah, he did make a Boston reference. He has to make a Boston or New England reference, and he did it at some point involving a block of ice smashing some guy's head in. Which, again, isn't really funny. It's just, oh my god, that happened. And of course he has to explain it. He has to explain why it is funny. And it's just, look, if you made it through here, up to here, I understand. If anyone who's watched it so far probably stopped halfway through going, why am I listening to him rant anymore? I can completely understand that. Those of you who made it through, thank you for making it through. And like I said, just avoid this movie. Go stare at a wall for 2 hours. No. Go outside to a park and walk with a friend that you really care about. And talk to him or her. And just go, you know what? You're a good friend. You're a good friend. And you know what? I care a lot about you. Do that. Do that instead. Because seriously, that is 2 hours of your life you're not getting back. At all. I guess I'll see you guys next time. Later.